Moonshiners, Season 14, Episode 8. Bruiser Backup and Blue Lights. The Appalachian mist clings low over the Smoky Mountains as the episode opens, casting everything in a gray hue. It's harvest season, and the air is thick with the earthy scent of corn mash and damp leaves. In a hidden hollow outside Newport, Tennessee, Mark Ramsey and Digger Maines are hard at work inside their secluded woodland still site, trying to push out one last big run before winter sets in. But pressure's mounting, and not just from the cold. The law's been sniffing around a little too close lately, Digger says, peering out from behind a tarp-covered hideaway. We got one more big run to do, and we can't afford any screw-ups. That means no mechanical issues, no extra footprints, and definitely no law enforcement sniffing up our backsides. Act 1. Trouble brewing. The camera cuts to surveillance-style trail cam footage, blurred figures with flashlights weaving through the woods. A local game warden reported the sound of a generator and the smell of sweet mash drifting down the creek. That's all the sheriff's office needed to ramp up pressure. They don't need to catch you in the act, Mark adds. Just need to get close enough to scare you off your own land. So the boys make a call to Bruiser Martin, a local who once ran moonshine, so potent folks joked it ran on fear. He's known for two things: knowing every trail in a 20-mile radius, and making sure nobody but ghosts finds your still. Bruiser, a big man with a beard like a grizzly and a laugh like a chainsaw, pulls up in an old Chevy with half a deer in the back and mud up to the mirror's herd. Y'all got yourselves a possum problem. He grins, unloading what looks like a custom-made camouflage top the size of a circus tent. Let's smoke these boys some shine and make 'em chase shadows. Mark and Digger explain the plan. A high-yield batch of sweet corn whiskey that needs to be distilled and moved fast. They've got 100 gallons of mash ready to go, but need Bruiser to handle site security, transport logistics, and possible decoys. Bruiser's in. Ain't the first time I played hide-and-seek with the law, he mutters, tying a thick rope around a tree limb to create a hoist system for the still. Only difference now is I'm better at it. Act 2. Midnight mash night falls. Lanterns flicker behind tree stumps as Mark stirs the bubbling mash, its smell wafting through the woods. Digger checks condenser coils. Bruiser stations himself at a lookout post with thermal binoculars and a crossbow, not because he plans to use it, but because it's quieter than a shotgun. Y'all keep the fire hot, he whispers into a walkie-talkie. I got movement at the ridge, probably deer, but I'm gonna circle back. Mark and Digger pour the first clear stream of high-proof shine into mason jars, labeling the batch Ghost Run. Spirits are high, until Bruiser's voice crackles through the radio. Boys, we got company, not deer. 2 flashlights, moving slow. They're either lost or they're looking. Panic sets in. Digger douses the fire under the still. Mark scrambles to top the mash barrel. Bruiser heads down the slope, silent as fog. 10 tense minutes pass. Then, a whisper over the radio. It's a couple of hikers, real ones, with maps, lost as all hell. Relief floods the camp. Digger lights the fire again, half laughing, half cursing. That's the life, ain't it? 1 second you're toasting to the good Lord for good shine. Next minute you're planning your last words. Act 3. The real heat be sunrise. The boys have jarred 60 gallons of 130 proof liquid gold. The plan is simple. Load it into Bruiser's truck. Take it to an old hunting cabin deep in Cherokee National Forest where it can cool. Then divvy up sales routes from there, but as they wind down the dirt road just after dawn, blue lights flash behind them. Don't panic. Mark's hands grip the dash like a steering wheel. Bruiser doesn't flinch. He knows these back roads like the veins on his hands. They pull over. Sheriff's Deputy Mason, the same one who busted a still 3 counties over the month before, steps out. "Mornin', boys. Mind if I ask what you're doing out here so early?" Bruiser smiles, hands over his hunting license. "Mornin'. Just comin' back from a late run. Deer's in the back. Blood's still warm." The officer glances at the tarp covering the bed. "You boys mind me taking a look?" Tension freezes the air. "Just fair warnin'," Diva says with a tired grin. "You open that tarp, you might find something uglier than roadkill." The officer pauses. Something in his gut tells him he's close, but he's got no warrant and no scent of alcohol yet. After a long, squint-eyed silence, he nods. "Y'all be careful. Fog's thick this time of year." They drive off, but the mood's turned. Bruiser doesn't speak for a mile, then growls. "We ain't got more than 2 days before he brings a dog team. We gotta move every jar and scrub the site." Act 4. Cleanup and consequences split. Double back to Bruiser clean the still site. Burning brush, removing tracks, and loading out every trace of activity. Mark handles delivery, but on the way to the first drop point, he spots a game warden truck parked too close for comfort. In a last-second decision, he stashes the jars in a culvert beneath an old bridge and drives on empty. He returns 3 hours later. The jars are gone. Mark stares at the empty culvert, then up at the trees. Someone followed him. Act 5. The arrest the next morning. Local authorities announce they seized a significant catch of illegal spirits near the county line. No arrests made yet. Back at Mark's place, the trio meets in the barn. It's a bitter moment. The money's gone. The batch is gone. And worse, the law is closer than ever. Then a knock at the barn door. 2 sheriff's deputies. Mark and Diva exchange a look. They knew this day might come. The episode closes with a slow walk toward the door. "Well," Digger mutters. "Guess it's time to go visit the county hotel." Fade to black. Epilogue. A voice over Mark's voice carries over a scenic shot of mist rolling through the Smokies. Ain't just about the shine. It's about legacy. It's about outsmarting the man just one more time. And if today's the day we go down, well, hell, we'll go down swinging. Cue banjo music. Roll credits. Mark and Digger have been playing a dangerous game, pushing deeper into the woods and further into the shadows to avoid increased law enforcement presence. With word spreading about their potent new blend, Mounting Ghost, they're making good money. But with more eyes watching, the risk is growing. And when a rival tipster leaks intel to the sheriff's department, the net starts to close in. Act I. Shadows in the hollow early morning mist clings to the Appalachian trees like cotton candy spun by ghosts. Mark and Digger crouch low in a hollow, squinting through binoculars at a logging trail a quarter mile from their hidden still site. Mark, whispering. "That's the 3rd time in 2 days I seen that same black truck." Digger, gruff. "Ain't no logger rides with spotlights strapped to his roof." They are close to finishing the most ambitious run of their season. 150 gallons of Mountain Boast, a clear, high-octane corn-based liquor aged with applewood and honeycomb. Smooth, deadly, and in high demand. But with rumors of unmarked vehicles patrolling, and the occasional drone buzzing too close to the treetops, they need help. Someone who knows these woods better than the law. That's when Digger makes the call. Enter Bruiser Martin. A legend in the Smokies, Bruiser's a backwoods savant. Part survivalist, part mechanic, part ghost story. He hasn't been on a still site in years, not since a near bust nearly landed him in federal prison, But for Mark and Digger, he's family. They meet him at an old logging shack, the creaky wood walls covered in animal traps and faded NSCR posters. Bruiser, grinning under a wild beard. You'll only call me when things get hairy. So how bad we talkin'? Digger. Real bad. Somebody tipped the law. They're sniffing us like a coonhound at a barbecue. Bruiser. Then let's give 'em something to sniff. ACTO. Operation Smokescreen that night. The trio works under cover of darkness to rig the still site for rapid-fire distilling. Bruiser sets up motion-triggered alarms using fishing wire and bells strung high in the trees, his version of a silent perimeter. Bruiser. Don't trust electronics. You can't hear a Wi-Fi signal break, but you can hear a tin cup rattle. Mark and Digger get the fire burning, mash bubbling. The shine starts to flow, clear as glass, smelling of corn and wood smoke. Spirits are high as jars fill one by one. Bruiser leans against a tree, carving a slingshot handle, watching their six. Digger. Feels like old times. Bruiser. Yeah, till the blue lights start flickering. Suddenly, Bruiser's eyes narrow. He holds up a fist. Silence. A-T-T-L-E. A bell high above them jingles once. Then again. Someone's on the ridge. They kill the lights. Mark douses the fire. Digger grabs the shotgun. Bruiser whispers, "I'll go ghost," and melts into the darkness. A tense 10 minutes pass. Then a soft voice on the walkie. Bruiser, game warden, alone, looking with a flashlight. He's 2 holers over but headed this way. The team decides to split up. Digger and Mark will cover the still. Bruiser will lead the warden away with one of his famous distractions, a decoy campfire rigged with burning mash and deer scent.